Hallelujah! Warning, this video does not contain a full recap of the episodes. It contains spoilers. If you have not seen the episodes, click off now. I have been warned. And now, we made it! After a season of terrible scheduling, leaks, and loss of fandom, Season 5 of Steven Universe comes in with a bang. We see Homeworld, we see new gems, we get revelations about Lion, we see the diamonds. Let's begin with Season 5, Episode 1, Stuck Together. This was the least amazing of the Wonder episodes, but it was still fantastic. Lars and Stephen bond, and Topaz and Lars have character development. Of all the new characters introduced in this arc, my favorite was probably either Topaz or Rutile. We'll get to her later. The Topazes are amazing together. From them, we get to see how some Homeworld gems feel about going on missions, namely terrible. Topaz feels like always having being forced to fuse always keeps one half of her from having a friendship with the other half. I honestly don't know if this is the case with all Topazes or just these ones, but it provides a really interesting perspective on Gemkind as a whole. She's really a sensitive and emotional character, almost like Pearl or Amethyst. I really hope we get to see more of her in the future. Maybe Lars and the Off-Colors find her and take her off-world. That would honestly be fantastic. However, she eventually caves under the threat of separation and does carry out her mission, which leads directly into the next episode. Season 5, Episode 2, or The Trial, is the most scintillating episode of the entire arc. That's a 2-bit word. We see the gem judiciary system, we see interactions between Steven and the diamonds, and we open up a plethora of questions surrounding the shattering of Pink Diamond. It's everything I could have hoped for and more. So let's start at the beginning, shall we? Steven is in his cell, and a lawyer for him comes in, specifically a Zircon. She's complaining about how unfair it is that she has to defend Rose Quartz, and then she sees Steven. She tells him that he'll be going on trial, and then he does. Another Zircon is prosecuting, and she makes her case well. Then Steven gives testimony. Blue Diamond asks him how he shattered Pink Diamond, and when he answers with probably the breaking point, she yells that it was a sword. They then take a short recess, and Zircon interrogates Steven on how he couldn't know what happened. And then the Zircon says that she gets why the diamonds want Steven to tell them how he did it, namely because it doesn't make sense. And then things really heat up. Zircon presents Blue Diamond's palanquin in case of Pink's as evidence. She notes that there were no rose quartzes in Pink's entourage, and thus none could have slipped through. And what about the agates and sapphires? They would have foreseen it or tried to fight rose quartz off. Yellow Diamond states that they must have slipped through, but this is actually impossible. Because sapphires have future vision, it is actually impossible to slip past them. And then the biggest thing happens. Zircon says that whoever shattered Pink Diamond had to be really close to her and to have the authority to cover it up afterwards. Someone like one of the diamonds themselves. And can I just say that Yellow was acting like so guilty in this? She gets super angry when Zircon brings up the fact that no rose quartz could have slipped past Pink's entourage. J'accuse! That's a topic for another video. In the meantime, Yellow poofs the Zircons and Steven and Lars escape in Blue Diamond's palanquin. And that brings us to our first look at Homeworld. I don't really know what I was expecting, but it was definitely not this. Honestly, Homeworld looks kinda like a discount croissant. And that brings us into part 3. Part 3 of the Wanted Quartet is called Off-Colors. This is where we meet the Off-Colors, the gems who don't belong anywhere. They are Rutile, a set of conjoined twins, Rhodonite, a mixed gem fusion, Fluorite, a fusion with 6 gems, and Paparacha, a sapphire who can only predict what just happened. I think that the most interesting gem here is Paparacha. If she can only see into the past, then that would be incredibly useful. And if she were to hone that ability, then she could be a fantastic historian. All of our theories will be instantly confirmed or denied. But that's not the important thing from this episode. The important thing was that Lars was awesome. I never thought I would say that sentence. So these shattering robonoids come up, and because Lars is like sick of hiding all the time, he goes and fights them, and one of them explodes, and he dies. Spoiler alert. And that leads us right into the last part of this special, Lars's head. So this episode was just packed with awesome. It began right where the last episode leads off. Lars has just died. Stephen begins to cry, and oh my god, he has Rose's healing tears! Lars comes back to life, but he's pink. Then he learns some things about his body, like that his hair is a portal to a magical dimension inside of his hair. Sound familiar? If not, here's more. It also connects to the land inside of Lion's Mane. Stephen finds this out when he travels back to Earth through Lars's head. Afterwards, Stephen brings back food and drink for Lars. I just want to pause here to say, what? We just found out stuff! Lion died at some point, and all magical hair portals lead to the same place! That is a really weird sentence. Anywho, Lars offers to let everyone else go back to Earth through his head, even though he can't. They refuse. Then Stephen goes back to Earth and is really happily received in a really sweet moment by all of his Earth people. And that pretty much wraps up Wanted. So, final thoughts. This was awesome. Like I said, it was everything I could have hoped for and more. Theories were confirmed, denied, and new ones were created. Like, how long will they spend on Homeworld? How will they get off? How will Fluorite manage to be inconspicuous? Who really shattered Pink Diamond? And how easy would it be to have them all get off of Homeworld together? That was weird. I actually have a weird plan for this. So it has been shown that you don't need to touch the top of a bubble to transport it. So why didn't Steve-O make a bubble around all of them and then transport it back to the temple by going like... So why didn't Stephen make a bubble around all of them and then transport it back to the temple? I'm sure that there's a reason, but even so, it seems like it would work. Anywho, that's pretty much my thoughts on Wanted. See you next week.
Yellow. So on another note, I just finished watching Superwoman's new video, a geography lesson for racists. It is really good. But at one point, she features a YouTube comment that says, #Make America Great Again. So, I want you to just tell me what that means to you. What do you want to say about America? Heard he's a nice guy. So yeah, I'll see you next Monday. Bye!